Saturday morning and it's time for a shave. It's Martin's Test Shaves and I've got a couple of razors to try out which I honed yesterday and I was very happy with, and a couple of stories which you may find interesting. I'll be with you in a sec. Let me just put on a pre-shave. We're going to be using the Cajun Blades Forêt de Pins, or Flowers of the Pines. It's got a lovely aroma. I'm very fond of this. It really is very piney, as you might imagine. A floral, piney scent. Anyway, let's get on and just put a little bit of that as a pre-shave. A la Jacques. Poor man's pre-shave. Works every time. Anyway, what I was going to mention, if anybody's interested, is I've got a couple of things to discuss in regard to honing. And I think you can hone identically as I did on 4 razors, exactly the same progression, and get, unfortunately, different results. And I had a beautiful razor which I had the very highest intention of using today, and one which I'm slightly cross with. Let me just show you what I mean. Now this, I thought this Fram was going to be a very good razor. As it turns out, it didn't shave well its first attempt the other day. And I thought, why? So anyway, I've refreshed it. As Devon Jackson, our wonderful Devon, would say, you have to sometimes go back to the stones. So this one went back to the stones and it went to 8K, 12K, 20K, and it's still no good. And it was done in harmony with the other razors. So there's something going on with the steel on this one. Anyway, that was part of what I was going to say. Let me just quickly get on. I'm absolutely rubbish with the technical things when it comes to computers and the more advanced items in life like that. So I'll apologise for not editing properly. I'm really rubbish. Anyway, another little point of interest. Bill, our lovely, wonderful Bill M, he did mention the darker the moustache, the more likely I am to pull the skater girls in my skate group. So I thought, why not give this moustache a very slight touch up, which I have. And yeah, it is darker. Whether or not it's more attractive for the ladies, I have my doubts. However, what I was going to say was, this is now 3 weeks worth. I'm going to go 1 more week, and at the end of the month, we'll make a decision then to how it looks. And I might well shave it all off again. Because with straight razor shaving, it does vastly increase your virility and your hair growth and your general masculinity, which is why I'm trying to wean people off these horrible sticks with double-edged disposable blades on them. If you can be bothered to learn the very gratifying art of straight razor shaving, it's extremely worthwhile. Anyway, I'm very pleased to say I've not been disappointed with any of Eric's lathers. The Cajun Blade, it does make good soap. How about that? Quick as that. Right. So, oh, and by the way, what a lovely colour it is as well. Very nice sort of browny colour. Anyway, wiping fingers, most important. I want to show you the razors that are going to use. Oh, one more thing. Because I rather favour moustaches, this is all his fault. That's the great Trevor Wolfson when we met just outside of London a year ago. And he has the most magnificent moustache. And I thought, no, I've got to have one of those. It's got to be done. I shall show more of his razors on another occasion. His are the Rolls Royce of razors. They are very elite. Anyway, here's the razor in question. This is the one I honed yesterday, which I had very high hopes for. And sure enough, I just tried it, hanging hair tested it, and it is an absolute laser. This is, of course, Solingen made, and it is a Gevoso. A Gevoso from Germany. A number 28 Gevoso. Very, very, very nice gentleman in Taunton, Alan, put it on eBay, and I snatched it straight away. Came with a box. This is a very, very, very nice piece of steel. How do I know it's a nice piece of steel? Because it came straight off the 20k stone, and I tested it, I hanging hair tested it. It was actually hanging hair testing straight off the stone. That to me is the ultimate of good steel. I did give it a light stropping as well, so now we'll see how it goes like. But I have every intention of making this a great shave. The skin is different every day, which is why my great teacher and sensei, Gary Hayward, hello Gary, well, he's always saying that you cannot rely just on the edge. Oh, this is a very nice edge. Sometimes you have to rely on how your skin is feeling. And mine's okay today. It's not very special. I prefer shaving in the afternoon. Yeah, a little bit draggy. Possibly because I didn't prep my skin properly. But it's still a good edge, very good edge. Whereas, what I'm also going to try against, which is a little unfair because it's not really a true test, is this rather recalcitrant little fellow here, this other little German beast. Now, I don't know why, but this Fram's around the same period, but for some reason, it is fighting me. It really is fighting me. I mean, it will shave absolutely fine, but the hanging hair test's not good. So what I did as an experiment, which is what I do, I'm all about the steel. So what I did was I actually tried it on the green Crocs, no better. I then gave it a few strokes on this bonny fellow here. Now this is a cheap Ariali strop, which I've put, as you can see by the black marks, white TI paste on, which is a coarser paste than the green, which is what I'd normally favour. And yes, it did help, but there's something fundamentally wrong about possibly the temper that they put on it. But otherwise, a very, very nice little razor. It's not as good as the other one. But my contention being a hanging hair test is a wonderful test, but really it's only the shave that counts. This is shaving perfectly well. Isn't that strange? This is actually cutting on this side of my mush, just as well as the Gevoso. The Gevoso hanging hair tested to perfection. So, you can't always tell. I had assumed that this, as I used the other day, wouldn't be very good. And it's actually perfectly adequate. Very strange, very strange. So there's no real answer to that. Let's give it a little bit of a very light stropping on the old hand. Just see if that slightly improves it. I don't think it does. But it can't do any harm, can it? And that's pretty fine old leather. Let's go against the grain with it. Yeah, adequate. Actually very good. So that's one up for Fram and one down for my hanging hair test. Didn't think I'd ever say that. Right, let's lather up a little more. That is a very, very pleasant wake you up aroma. I've got to say, anybody that can mix not just the batch of the soap, but to get all these wonderful different fragrances, very clever stuff. Very admirable. I'm sure one of my biggest failings is skin preparation. I watch the masters, and I watch Leon, and he rubs and rubs and rubs and rubs to get deep penetration into the bristles. I just don't. I'm just bloody lazy. But my lathers are improving, no end. That's a perfectly adequate lather. Not the best, but it's adequate. Golden rule, chaps. Do wipe fingers when covered in lather. Otherwise it's straight to accident and emergency, and we don't need that. Especially in Britain, as it's about a 5-hour wait to see anybody. However, let's go back to this rather lovely. I do love these light sort of ambery yellow coloured scales on this Gevoso. Again, exactly the same period as the little, the 5/8, 6/8, whatever it is, as the Fram. Yeah, I've got every intention of really liking this. It did very good job on the stones, and to come straight off the stones and hanging hair test is very impressive. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So, when it comes to qualities of steel, perhaps I should backtrack. It does seem to be the quality of the steel is not necessarily proven by its ability to strop and hanging hair test after all. Let's go back and do the other side with the Fram and just see if that's any better now. Yep, I'll be damned. It's as good. And this has been a real trouble to me. They're identically honed, but this Fram just would not cooperate on the hanging hair test as well. In fact, it would hardly do it at all. And yet, this is down, I think, to steel makeup. The little martensite crystals inside the steel, when they're tempered, set themselves. And I think when they're being quenched, part of the hardening and tempering process, I think that's where it all lies, so to speak. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. I take it all back. Fram is fine. In fact, it's as good as slightly better than the Gevoso. And yet the Gevoso was hanging hair testing like a laser. So I don't know what's happening. Yeah, but all this experimentation, chaps, is very interesting. I hope it amuses you. I'm just trying to get people to take up the wonders of straight razor shaving. Because once you have, you can't shave with anything else. It's an incredibly interesting hobby and pastime. As I say, the people in it are so remarkable. If for no other reason, even if you never shave again, you'll find the people in the discussions on our groups are so entertaining and informative. I can't believe this. This has redeemed itself, and I've been terribly cruel to it today. I've stropped it on all sorts of things. I've stropped it on a coarse American canvas. Of course, I've stropped it on buff leather on the back of the Kaneyama. I've then gone back to the shiny Kaneyama. I've then put it on Crocs. I then put it on the TI white paste, and nothing was particularly satisfactory. And yet the damn thing is shaving magnificently. So I'm floundering. I'm absolutely lost now. My uncertainty gland is about to explode. But look at that. Perfect lather. So easily applied. Synthetic brush. You don't particularly want dead dogs and pigs' bristles, and let's beat it up for a month under a rock and then leave it in the sun and then put boiling water on it and then try it for another 3 weeks before it actually decides to cooperate. The nylon tree is the answer, chaps. It really is. Very, very cheap, very, very effective. And I'm not going to use anything else. So anyway, let's go back to using this lovely Fram. And I didn't think the word lovely and Fram are compatible, but they are. Oh, there's a great pleasure in when something cuts well. Yeah, that's just remarkable. Yeah, first rate piece of steel. One more pass on the other side with the other razor, which is this magnificent Gevoso. Let's just see how that compares. Very, very similar, which is unbelievable. Just a little gentle buffing pass. Oh, wonderful. You should be able to shave with any size of blade after a while, be it 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8. But I do think steel quality is a wonderful and mysterious subject. All of these are reasonably deep hollow. You can't do the same exact tests with a half hollow, a quarter hollow and a full hollow because they feel so different. Same with the stainless, it feels different. I congratulate our Sean for doing some wonderful work with stainless steel. I've nothing against stainless steel, but it is different. Anyway, chaps, I'm trying to find more stuff to remove and I can't. The reason it sounds rather brutal in its cutting ability is because being deep hollow, it has extremely sensitive noise producing edge. And all you're doing is you're trying to find stubble by virtue of lifting the skin. Just causing the little hairs to poke up that little bit more. No, that's BBS. And you can trim so accurately with a straight razor. Right up to the mouth. Absolutely no problems at all. Yep, that's it. So yeah, your first 25 shaves with a straight razor will be a little bit contentious. They will be a little bit awkward. They will be a little bit bloody because you're going to get the occasional nick. If you've got a pimple sticking out, a straight razor is going to find it, but then so will any other razor. So really, I wouldn't say straight razors are definitely kinder. In my experience, which is, I don't know, I've been shaving for what, 55 years, I suppose. You can't beat a straight razor. Anyway, chaps, that's enough. It's nearly 20 minutes. Thank you so much to those that subscribe. If you do like it, please give me a tick, and please give a tick to anybody else that goes to the trouble of making YouTube shave videos. We're trying to spread the word. That's all we're doing. There's no money in it. There's no glory in it. There's no fame in it. So please, guys, just subscribe. Give it a tick to everyone. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this amusing. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.